The B-2 Spirit bomber is one of those aircraft in the world that, even if someone wanted to, a missile cannot destroy. This is the same B-2 bomber that, in July 2025, took off from the US, flew about 11,000 kilometers to Iran to carry out strikes, and returned to the US undetected. Although it may look as big as a giant military cargo plane, on enemy radar it appears only as small as a fly. No matter how complex the radar network is, deceiving it is child's play for the B-2 Spirit bomber. Built at a cost of billions of dollars, it remains the most expensive aircraft ever made. Compared to other jets, it is not only silent but can easily fool heat-seeking missiles as well as infrared-guided missiles. An aircraft that, if it wanted, could change the map of the world. But the puzzling question is, why does an airplane that is 52 meters wide not show up on radars? What kind of science is this that America has been hiding for the last 37 years? Welcome to the Great Game of Powers videos. Viewers, behind the making of this B-2 bomber is an incident that deeply embarrassed America worldwide. On May 1st, 1960, from Peshawar Air Base in Pakistan, America's Lockheed U-2 aircraft took off. It was heading to spy on the Soviet Union as part of a CIA secret mission. This was the Cold War era when the United States and the Soviet Union were both trying to outshine each other through their technology. America was arrogant enough to believe its U-2 Lockheed spy plane could fly at 80,000 feet, and that at such a high altitude no one could do anything to it. The US thought that no missile from the USSR could reach that height. But as soon as the plane entered Soviet territory, the radar immediately detected it. At first, they dispatched several fighter jets and launched many missiles. But truly, hitting it at that altitude was beyond them. Then, the Soviet military locked their S-75 Dvina high-altitude air defense system missile onto the plane and fired. The United States knew about this missile too, but they assumed the S-75 wouldn't reach that altitude either. What happened next was beyond American pride and imagination. The S-75 hit the U-2 Lockheed with perfect precision while it was flying at 80,000 feet. The plane crashed over a place called Yekaterinburg, and the pilot ejected himself. Initially, America claimed it was a NASA weather research plane. But when the Soviet Union displayed the captured pilot and the U-2's surveillance equipment to the world, America was thoroughly humiliated. That incident taught both countries a harsh lesson. After that, Russia, then the Soviet Union, began working on its air defense, and the United States started developing technology that would become literally invisible to radar. At that time, America had B-52 bombers, but after that incident, it became clear that sending them into Soviet territory would result in them being shot down before they could strike. In other words, America could not realistically use its nuclear weapons against Russia. By 1976, the USSR had developed surface-to-air missiles capable of bringing down aircraft from as far as 100 kilometers away, including the S-300. At that point, the USSR's air defense had become so strong that an American Air Force general said sending a B-52 bomber into Soviet airspace would be like throwing a stone at a fly's hive. It was at that time, in 1978, that America launched the Advanced Technology Bomber program. The goal of this program was to build a bomber that could enter Soviet territory, drop bombs in front of their radars, and leave without being noticed. The B-2 bomber fulfilled all of America's requirements and made its first flight in 1989. It was shown to the world in 1997. The B-2's greatest feature is its ability to escape radar. Every corner of this aircraft is designed so that when radar signals strike it, they do not return to the radar. In other words, the direction of those signals is changed. That is why its design is basically only wings, no large fuselage, and no tail. The vertical tail fins that normal aircraft have are easily detected by radar. Air defense radars form a very large interconnected network, and they send signals in every direction so that not a single corner of the sky goes unscanned. These signals normally reflect off an airplane's body and return to the radar, which records the aircraft's presence. The tail fin in particular is impossible to hide, because when seen from the side, it acts like a mirror for radar. But the B-2 Spirit bomber's body is shaped so that no matter from which direction a radar signal comes, after striking it, the signal will not reflect back in the same direction. That is why it has no tail. Its zigzag design deflects signals in the opposite direction. Behind the B-2's success is not only its shape, but also a coating that absorbs radar signals completely. The US developed a secret coating whose details are still hidden from the world. Because of this coating, the B-2 becomes essentially invisible on radar. Its radar cross-section is astonishingly only 0.0001 square meters, meaning detecting it would be like detecting a fly in the sky. By comparison, On radar, a B-52 bomber appears about the size of a two-bedroom flat. The B-2 shows up on radar as only a fly. In aviation security, this technology is called stealth, and its foundation was laid with the B-2 bomber. The B-2 Spirit not only avoids enemy radar, but its low heat signature can also fool infrared and heat-seeking missiles. Air defense systems normally include infrared surveillance systems that detect the heat emitted from the back of a jet, and then lock missiles onto that heat signature. But the B-2's engines are buried inside its body. After combustion in a jet engine, the heat is not expelled directly into the air, but is first mixed with the outside cold air. Because of this, the B-2 bomber leaves almost no heat signature behind, which makes it the aircraft with the lowest heat signature in the world. This is like saying that if an F-16 jet can be detected by an infrared surveillance system from 100 kilometers away, the B-2 bomber will not be detected until it comes within a 10-kilometer range. But it normally does not fly that low to ever be detected by infrared radar. Astonishingly, the B-2 bomber is capable of flying at 15,000 meters at such altitude it can avoid infrared radar, and because the atmosphere is thinner, the aircraft experiences less drag and fuel efficiency improves, allowing it to travel farther. With full tanks, the B-2 can easily cover a distance of 11,000 kilometers. Now you might think that not showing up on radar and infrared surveillance is the whole story, but it's not. What really makes the B-2 a true stealth bomber is its ECM, i.e., electronic countermeasures. The B-2 carries high-tech ECM systems that first detect the enemy radar's frequency and then transmit false signals on that frequency. This makes the radar display the B-2 at the wrong location or even show it at 20 different locations, while in reality, it is in only one place. The system records the radar's signals, modifies them, and sends them back. The radar thinks the signal is genuine when in fact it is false, and the best part is that the ECM sends these deceptive signals only to the radar that detected it, so that the enemy thinks there's just some noise or an error in the radar. If false signals were sent to all radars, the enemy might become suspicious. The body of the B-2 bomber is mostly made from carbon graphite composite materials. Now let's come to its payload. Astonishingly, it can carry up to 18,000 kilograms of explosives, roughly the weight of 15 cars. Inside its belly, it can hide 80 JDAM, which are GPS-guided bombs, 16 B-83 nuclear bombs, or 16 AGM-158 JASSM missiles, which are stealth cruise missiles. All of these weapons are housed in the B-2's internal bay, and once the doors close, the aircraft maintains its full stealth profile during flight. Speaking of range, the B-2 can fly from the United States to Russia and return without landing. And if it refuels mid-air, it can reach any corner of the world. During the Afghanistan war, the B-2 bomber took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, USA. It covered a distance of about 9,500 kilometers, bombed targets in Afghanistan, and returned home without landing. During this entire mission, it needed only one mid-air refueling. The B-2 flew continuously for 45 hours without appearing on any radar screen. In addition, during Operation Allied Force in 1999, it was used for bombing missions in Serbia. It also took part in Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003 and Operation Odyssey Dawn in 2011, conducting bombings in Libya. The B-2 Spirit bomber can fly in any weather and under any condition. Even if GPS satellites are destroyed, it can still navigate by using its backup systems, literally by tracking the stars. It is equipped with advanced sonar and optical cameras that make the B-2 the world's most capable obstacle avoidance aircraft. It automatically identifies terrain and adjusts its flight path accordingly. Now, because it's a massive flying wing with no tail, rudder, or elevator, its stability isn't perfect, meaning the pilot cannot fly it manually without computer assistance. The B-2 is equipped with one of the most complex computer systems ever built, which constantly adjusts its roll and pitch movements. The pilot only gives a command, for example, to turn, and the computer automatically maneuvers the aircraft accordingly. Naturally, such an advanced and secure aircraft comes at an enormous cost. To date, only 21 B-2 bombers have been built, each costing billions of dollars more than the entire GDP of some countries. All of them are operated solely by the United States, and America has no plans to sell this technology to anyone. Its fuel consumption is massive in just 1 hour. It burns roughly $150,000 worth of fuel, while a normal commercial jet uses about $3,000 worth in the same time. The B-2's maintenance is also unlike any other aircraft. After every flight, the entire plane undergoes a soft wash, and its secret stealth coating is reapplied. Every inch of the body is inspected to ensure there isn't even the tiniest dent or hole, because even a mosquito-sized dent could compromise its stealth capability. That's all for today's update. Please subscribe and like this video.